Hi.
Hi.
Well, it's good to have you back. You know?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Big Honey Sports Podcast. I am G-Rock, a.k.a. Yuri, a.k.a. Y-Dog, a.k.a. whatever.
AKA Why Nasty.
Why nasty? Yeah, sometimes, I guess. And then here's the guy that's been absent for a couple weeks here. We're glad to have him back on the show.
I was on a hiatus sabbatical.
That's you're using some really cool language today. Very sophisticated language.
Yes, Ersky.
So, Big Sean.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good, man.
Oh, that's good. NFL fantasy, that's what we're talking about today. Week number 5 already. We've only missed 1 week in the season. So that, we're getting more efficient at recording. We're getting more efficient at the entire, actually being on time. Let's stop talking about it and just get into it. So, just rambling on here. So let's just start off. Subscribe, please. Like the channel if you like it. We have put out some good stuff. Last week was rough, though. I will admit that. I was wrong on a lot of my startups and sit-ups, so my apologies, but that doesn't happen normally. I mean, I've been pretty accurate. Big Sean's been pretty accurate. So, all your fantasy football advice and questions and everything, please feel free to ask us. So, without further ado, Sean, let's start off with the quarterback position. Who is your stardom of the week?
My stardom of the week is Jimmy Garoppolo. I saw that he's going to be back in the lineup and they're playing the Dolphins. Okay? So, I think only the Jaguars have a worse defense than the Dolphins right now is what I saw. So, you're going to want to start Jimmy G. He's going to throw for 3 touchdowns.
All right.
I'm calling it right now.
How many did George Kittle?
2.
All right. Cool. Good pick right there. I'm going to pick Teddy Bridgewater for my stardom of the week. Yes, I saw you picked him up. Congratulations.
That's me.
And I'm picking him because you said that the Jags were the worst defense, right?
I think so.
Okay. I think Atlanta is technically the worst, but that might just be by passing.
Yeah, it probably depends on what it is, but...
So Atlanta is giving up the most points to opposing quarterbacks this season. They suck. They've allowed 3 total touchdowns to quarterbacks every week. Every single week, minimum 3 touchdowns. Minimum of 3 touchdowns, either thrown or run for. So Teddy Bridgewater, he has wheels, so he can potentially run as well. So he gives him the versatility, and against the Atlanta Falcons, because he's a waiver wire pickup in most leagues, he's most likely available in leagues that aren't as competitive. So you should definitely go out and get him if you have Aaron Rodgers on the bye or something, because he will get at least 3 touchdowns. I'm expecting 20 points more than that probably out of him. Should be a good game for Carolina and the Panthers and Ted Bridgewater. So Ted Bridgewater.
Ted Bridgewater.
So that's my stardom of the week for quarterback. Let's move on to your situm of the week.
My situm of the week is Ryan Tannehill. The league is out to get the Titans because they screwed everything up.
Oh, yeah.
And they're playing the Buffalo Bills. Sit Ryan Tannehill. He's going to struggle. That's all the analysis I have.
They're playing the Bills, you say?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah. And everyone's pissed off at the Titans because they broke the protocols. And they're the reason we have 2 Monday night games and a Tuesday night game.
So let me get this straight. When are the Bills playing? On Tuesday?
Tuesday at 5 o'clock.
Are they not supposed to play on Thursday? Because I thought I heard something about that.
Yeah, playing Tuesday at 5, so I'm sure that game will get postponed too.
Probably. I mean, they just continue to rack up the coronavirus record. So that sucks. That's a good one. I like that. Because the Bills are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
They're going to be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
The Titans are just what the hell are they doing? What are you guys doing out there? My sit-em of the week is a man by the name of Phillip Rivers. He is definitely available in your league. And I'm trying to target players that are available in your league, most likely. If he's not available in your league, then you probably have a pretty good shot to win your league because Phillip Rivers is terrible this year. I think he has, his high for the year so far has been 14.82 points fantasy. I think that was week 1. He's thrown literally 1 touchdown each week, literally 1. And usually he throws a couple picks in the process. So, it looks like a favorable matchup on paper. Against the Cleveland Browns, just allowed Dak Prescott to go off on him even though they still won. The Browns haven't been particularly good against the pass attacks, defending the pass. However, you do need to realize it's Phillip Rivers, and it's the Colts. And Phillip Rivers has just not been the guy. And if you're expecting him to be a fantasy relevant option this week, you're going to be disappointed. The guy, he's just not going to produce that much. He's a game manager at this point. He's not going to get you 20 points, 30 points. It's just not going to happen. And that's fine because they're 3-1. But if you're desperate for a quarterback, that's not the guy you should be turning to. There's many other better options at quarterback.
There are.
So don't start. Don't start, please. Moving on to running back.
Am I up?
You sure are. Start him. Who's your start of the week at running back?
My start of the week is going to be Joshua Kelly. Is that his name? Joshua Kelly.
Unfortunately, yeah.
On the Chargers. I'm going to start him with the injury to Austin Eckler. He hasn't been great, but Eckler's out. So it's going to be between him and Justin Jackson?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I put in a waiver for him, actually.
Joshua Kelly.
Yeah. Okay. And who are they? You play the Saints, right?
Playing the Saints.
I mean, that could be a good matchup right there. I said this guy last week. I'm going to say him again because eventually you're going to be right? If you keep picking the same guy, you'll eventually hit on it.
Good think.
So David Johnson's playing the Jacksonville Jaguars this week, 27th against the rush. Worst against the rush. They are terrible. And you would think at this point, you've just fired Bill O'Brien. What do the Texans want more than anything in the world right now?
To win?
A win. They have a great opportunity to do it against the Jags because the Jags are 1-3. And I don't know, I just think the Texans have the edge this week. It doesn't really matter where they're playing. The fact is they need a win, and I'm assuming they're going to get it this week. I bet my bottom dollar that they're going to win.
Bet your leg?
No. Not that confident, but pretty close to it. I'd probably bet my arm. Just kidding. Yeah. So David Johnson, I think he'll be really well mixed into the game plan this week because there's not a number one target really on the Texans. They're just kind of doing what they can do. Will Fuller did have a good game, but he's been pretty inconsistent. David Johnson, he had a pretty good day last week, but he didn't find the end zone. I think he'll find the end zone this week, and then he'll salvage you. He'll probably get like 20 points or so. So he's a good performer this week.
Yeah, 20.
Is that bad?
That's a lot.
Yeah, I think he will. Because he'll get a touchdown, and he's been averaging like 11 or 12, so it's like plus 6, 18, a couple of extra because he's playing the Jags. I think he'll have a good game. Your cinema point.
Any New England running back.
Yeah.
Not only are there 3.
Good choice.
I don't know about Sonny Michel. He's on IR, right?
Yeah.
So they still have 3 running backs that they've been using. The Broncos are number 3 against the run. That being said, they could still catch patches out of the backfield.
PPR.
But I wouldn't. Maybe James White.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. But any New England running back, it's a no-go.
It's a good call. I mean, they're just too. It's every week it's somebody else.
Yep.
Everyone's picking up Damian Harris this week. He'll probably have 10 rushing yards. And James White will have 100 and 100. And then next week he'll be Rex Burkhead. But you don't know. So that's a good take. I don't like anyone on the Patriots. And that's pretty much how they are year to year. I mean, they're always inconsistent at that position. And that's not a problem. Like, they win the game anyways. But, Not good for fantasy terms. My sit-em of the week is Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley has, he's been good the last 2 weeks. He's posted double digits each week. He's a pretty reliable running back so far. However, he is playing the Panthers this week. And the Panthers, I think, are going to get off to an early lead in this one. And they might be forced to abandon the run game. Because last week they didn't abandon the run game against the Packers as they were down like 20-0. And it didn't work out well for them. Matt Ryan couldn't get it going because they kept trying to run the ball somehow. Todd Gurley has been touchdown dependent, however. I mean, he's only getting about 14 to 16 carries a week, which is pretty good for volume, but it's not great if you're talking about what Todd Gurley used to be. And it just kind of points out, he is touchdown dependent. And I think this week he probably won't get a touchdown. He also hasn't even eclipsed 100 yards yet in the season. So his floor is pretty low compared to his ceiling. I think his ceiling's pretty well established at this point. And I think the Panthers are just going to kind of shut it down for the run. They'll be forced to pass it. Finally, last 4 people. Who is your stardom of the week for wide receiving?
So, obviously, if you have Adam Thielen, you're going to start him. So I'm going to say Justin Jefferson against the Seahawks. They have the 32nd ranked pass defense. They're 32 against receivers. Adam Thielen is obviously Adam Thielen. I'm going to say Justin Jefferson. That's my start of the week.
What was his? What did he do last week? Do you know?
Let's take a look at Mr. Justin Jefferson.
He kind of broke out like 2 weeks ago. Obviously, he had that massive game. Everyone started picking him up, and I think he had a pretty good, respectable out.
He had 4 catches for 103 yards last week.
Yeah.
And that's after he had 7 catches for 175 yards and a touchdown.
So I think he's...
Against the number 32 pass defense, Justin Jefferson is in your lineup.
Yeah, good call. I'm starting Darius Slayton this week. I think he is... yes. I mean, you can give me that a lot. But the guy obviously can post big numbers. Who is he playing this week? He's playing the Cowboys. What are the Cowboys terrible at? The pass. And I understand it's Daniel Jones. I understand it's the New York Giants. But Darius Slayton has been pretty mediocre the last couple weeks. And that's kind of how he is. He's a hit or miss. And I think he hits this week. He'll catch a touchdown. Don't know how many yards he'll get. But he will have a respectable output, I think, this week, given who he's playing. That's the only reason I'm starting him. If you're desperate for waiver wires, people that have dropped Darius Slayton in the last couple of days.
I did, because he's a bum.
Then you are going to pick him up. I'm not going to pick him up. I already have my receivers. But if you're desperate, pick him up. He's a 1 week play. Playing the Cowboys, man. We'll have a good output. Sim of the week for wide receiver. It's tough.
It is tough. You go ahead. I'll get back to you.
Uh-oh. I didn't really pick one. I'm going to go with...
Here's your whole sheet.
I didn't pick one. It's tough this week. There's a lot of good matchups out there. I'm trying to think. Maybe... I'm just going to say Jameson Crowder. And the reason is because... you got Le'Veon Bell coming back. Now, that makes a difference. The whole Jets offense is atrocious. And if you do have Jameson Crowder, I think the odds that you're actually starting him every single week are pretty low because he plays for the Jets. He had a pretty good game back last time, but he has been known to kind of post duds every now and then throughout the season. And maybe he just does that this week. Just don't start.
I'm going to sit Devontae Parker for the Dolphins.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they're playing the 49ers. I don't like that matchup.
I mean, you're right. I mean, yeah. Do you like Mike Gesicki more?
I don't like any of them.
Yeah. And maybe you just get shut down.
Yeah.
Something just turned off. It got really quiet. I think
it was
the
like
AC.
the fridge or something. I don't know if the AC was going.
Hopefully that wasn't on that whole video.
It's all right.
Thank you for tuning in this week.
Fantasy sleeper, Tim Patrick
Ooh,
on the Broncos. He's going to be a stud. With injury to Cortland Sutton, he has been producing the last 2 weeks when he's getting more volume.
okay. Greg Ward is my sleeper then. I'm going with Greg Ward. He had a kind of shitty game last week. He'll get back on track. I mean, Alshon Jeffrey's still not going to play. Zach Ertz is Zach Ertz. He's declining. Get Greg Ward. He's another guy you could just pick up real quick. Deuces.